Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message in regards to what's going on with Sean Combs and his indictment. Many of you may be wondering, why was he so obsessed with sex? Because the dominant part of his charge deals with sex trafficking, coercion, but, using sexual acts as a way of keeping people silent or increasing his business profits, his enterprise. And the main reason I'm talking about the spiritual energy behind all of this. We want to pay attention to his obsession with sex, whether it was with men, women, young people. It really didn't matter. They found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, which a lot of the people that worked for him admitted that they would distribute this to the different hotel rooms whenever they was getting ready to have what they called a freak off. The dominant energy behind Sean Combs was his obsession with sexual energy. People have to understand that this man became a billionaire. And that is not a common theme for those who are in the entertainment industry. But Sean P. Diddy Combs, now this is alleged. This is what I am telling you based off of my observation. Sean P. Diddy Combs is a warlock, a very wicked warlock who used sexual energy to enhance his power in the entertainment industry. It wasn't just about what you all see in the 3D. This is highly spiritual. This being, he learned this from those who took him under their wing, okay? Sean Combs did not come up with this on his own. He was groomed and taught by those people who he worked for that sexual energy is a very powerful energy that can help you to create a lot of things. And he learned to use sexual energy to enhance his power and his profit. And many people benefited from that, okay? Not just the Sean, the Combs enterprise, not just Bad Boy Records. I'm talking about those puppet masters behind the scenes benefited from Sean Combs as being their perfect puppet who would go on to create a lot of victims and to collect a lot of sexual energy in order to enhance their power. Sean Combs understood that fear, sex, intoxication, all of these things are a form of magic. And when you are using it for a controlling tactic or as a way of enhancing your power, it can be very powerful when you're using alchemy. He understood this, okay? Because your sexual energy is your creative energy. And so anytime you siphon the sexual energy of a large group of people, that's a lot of creative potential, especially when you're doing this to people who are unaware of what's happening. It's said that he would also drug his victims. He would drug them, or he would get people who were clearly desperate for money because a lot of them was being paid to perform these sexual acts. But he would do this in large groups, sexual freak-offs that will go on for days on end. During that time, likely, I'm pretty sure my spiritual eyes and ears can see and hear that Sean Diddy Combs was siphoning that sexual energy and doing spell work with it to enhance his empire and those people that he worked for. This is far bigger than what you all see with your natural eyes. Understanding that I've spoken to you all about this a lot of times in the past concerning the beast of Babylon and how this beast feeds on sexual energy, lust, fear. This beast feeds on hatred, guilt, shame. And these are a lot of the things that Sean Combs was creating through these freak offs, because it's also said that he may have coerced particular people by threatening their careers, threatening to take their homes, threatening to remove them off of record labels and things of that nature if they did not perform particular acts or participate in particular things. So the energy of fear was created. And for those people who did it against their better judgment, because they were more concerned about fame and fortune, okay, they still had the free will, some of them, because we don't know how far he went. He could have gone as far as literally drugging these people to where they were completely out of there and had no consciousness while these sexual acts were performed, because they did find tapes. They found tapes to solidify that these freak-offs were happening here. So you're talking about the energy of fear, the energy of shame and guilt for those people who participated in these things and they did not willingly participate. The energy of lust. You have large groups of people who are all under the influence, whether it be of alcohol or different substances, and they're all participating in these lewd sexual acts while they're being recorded. That energy is what he was siphoning. That's why he recorded it. It wasn't just the fact that he was using it to blackmail. He was also using that collective sexual energy for his rituals. This man had become a master warlock in the underworld. And this is why he was able to collect so much wealth. But now his time is up, because here in the age of Aquarius, the chosen seed have arisen, and we have been calling on the highest form of righteous judgment against all of our enemies. A lot of times people will say, well, how can someone in the entertainment industry be an enemy of the chosen seed, or those people who are, you know, just everyday people who are not millionaires, who are not rubbing shoulders with people in the entertainment industry? Well, the reason why is because people like Sean Combs targets the so-called everyday person that's on the street. He understands that the type of magic that he wants to create requires a lot of energy. The fact that he wanted to build this massive empire or this massive enterprise and to create all of this wealth, it would require a whole lot of sacrifices, a whole lot of lustful sexual energy, a whole lot of fear, a whole lot of shame and guilt. That was the tools that would be needed in his potion. That would be the energy that he would need to bring to the table to feed to the beast of Babylon in order for them to exalt him in the manner that they did. So yes, what he was doing would have a direct impact on the so-called average person, because he was targeting the average person. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing went as far as him collecting people off of the street, going around and saying, I want that one right there. I want to add that one right there. Pull that one over there. Just going and randomly picking people off the street. This is my personal opinion. Okay, there's nothing in the evidence to solidify that. But when we're talking about these witches and warlocks in the entertainment industry, in politics and religion, okay, I mean, everywhere you go, they exist. And they've been able to establish their power through spell work. This is not just from physical acts. No, this is actual spiritual works that's been done against large groups of people in order to not only enhance their power, but to prolong it. And people say, well, I wonder how he was able to get away with this for so long. He got away with it through blinding spells, shutting the eyes of people, creating illusions around his image and around who he was. He was able to use magic so that people would not be able to see the true nature of his being. But the further we move into the age of Aquarius, the more that those smoke screens gets removed from people like Sean Combs, as well as all of the people who worked with him, who understood what he was doing, who supported what he was doing, as well as those who are behind the scenes that you don't see, who are far bigger in the industry than Sean Combs. It's no, just put it this way. It's very, very clear that Sean Combs is just a little peon in the mix of all of this. He's not one of what they might consider as the big dogs. He's not the puppet master. Okay, they gave him a little bit of ranking, but the real devils are still going to be exposed. He is one of them. But there are many, many, many who have a far higher ranking than he does in the underworld, who are also going to be exposed. Everyone's hand will be revealed. And Sean Combs is just the first of many who will be laid out on the chopping block because he's going to sing. He's going to sing. This is the time of reckoning. This is the time where the chosen, those of you who were, this particular being, Sean Combs, he was siphoning a lot of energy, And a lot of the rituals, I'm strongly intuitively picking up that he would do rituals where he would siphon the energy of the chosen through these sexual, these sex acts, these freak-offs. Okay? So he needed the lustful energy of a large group of people, but the ritual would be surrounded by collecting the creative energy of the chosen across the four corners of the earth. And so if you felt like your creative gifts were suppressed, if you felt like you didn't have inspiration to pursue your creative ideas, if you felt like you were confused about those things that you're good at and what direction you should go in, or you just feel a lack of passion or zeal for life, it's because he was siphoning and pulling on your energy from your sacral chakra through these freak-offs. Okay? This man understood energy very, very well. But it didn't come without him being taught by the so-called masters. This is definitely a far greater situation. There's a whole lot more people who was conspiring with him. There's a whole lot more people who are involved in this that, again, they have a much higher ranking, but they're losing their position because now the spiritual realm is not accepting their rituals. Okay, because the chosen, we have awakened. We've changed the vibration. And so they can't just go out doing moon magic, doing graveyard rituals. They can't use sexual rituals. These things are no longer working anymore because they don't have the sexual energy of the chosen to siphon off of. The type of energy that they have to use is way too low vibrational for them to be able to have the amount of power generated in their rituals to create the illusions for the masses. They need more power, and they needed it from the chosen. But a lot of the chosen have gone into hermit mode. You have reclaimed your sexual energy. You have tamed that carnal nature. You have broken certain generational curses that kept you bound to lustful energy, shame, and guilt. You've broken those curses that was connected to molestation and any shameful acts that might have been committed against you or that you might have committed against others. You have broken the chains that kept you bound that would allow beings like Sean Combs to siphon off of. That energy is no longer readily available in the ethers. He can't pull on it because it's not there. So this is why he's going down. Many of those people that worked for him are going down. Many of the people that he worked for are going down. I'm telling you, this is only one of many. Just like Jeffrey Epstein, whatever his name is, it's a lot more that's getting ready to be brought to the surface. A lot of names that's going to be brought out. A lot of faces. Things are getting ready to hit the fan. And this is time. This is a long awaited time. I've been waiting for this time. Okay. I've been waiting for this time to arrive because just as they lose everything, those of you who are out there operating from integrity, those of you who have called on judgment against your enemies, those of you who have called on justice for yourself and your ancestors and your offspring, those of you who have called on the restoration of your inheritance, your birthright, and your sovereignty, you are receiving what is inherently yours. It will no longer be withheld, because beings like Sean Diddy Combs and all of those who are working and doing the same type of rituals that he has been performing, because this goes way out into the so-called British Empire. We spoke about this with that so-called Queen Elizabeth. Many of these beings have been doing this for a very, very long time in order to enhance their power and their authority over the masses. But this is the time of the reveal. This is the time of reckoning. This is the time of judgment, but it is also the time of justice. Mark my words. It's getting ready to get real ugly out here for these beings who gain their wealth and their power through wicked, evil deeds, y'all. Okay? These nefarious acts and all of the things that they did behind the scenes, all of the underground tunnels that they created in order to create, to perform these acts, to kidnap, to sex traffic, kidnapping children for their rituals and their sexual acts. All of these things have to be revealed. That's my message for you all. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know what y'all think about what's happening out here in these spiritual streets and in these physical streets, because it is definitely going down. I love you, and I'll talk to y'all next time.